All right, so we're going to talk about the Aries parent. First of all, thank you for watching. I want to firstly say, make sure that when we're talking about our upbringing, parents, I know it can get kind of sensitive because, you know, some people have great experiences, some people don't have great experiences, or whatever the case may be. One thing I will say about just any of these videos when it talks about a sign, we have to take the whole chart into consideration. So if your parent varies differently from what I'm saying, understand that we have to look at your whole chart, the parent's whole chart. Also, we can't use astrology to validate our negative feelings on a certain sign, right? So if you're like, hey, I'm just making this up, like I dated an Aries before and they're horrible, I hate all Aries, right? Like, and then you're looking for videos that validate that. That's not my channel. Like, I'm not going to validate the horrible parts. Now, again, if you get a personal reading and you had a bad experience with an Aries person or Virgo or Libra or whatever, and you're like, hey, here's this person's chart, here's my chart, let's talk, you know, let me book a reading about our relationship, we can do that. We can talk about that. But this is a general video, and you know, there are always exceptions to the rule, and also understand one person's experience is not everyone's experience. Now, in general, an Aries parent will tend to have the same characteristics, just like a Virgo parent will tend to have certain characteristics. And we have to look at the person's whole chart if we want to personalize the experience. Hopefully that comes across. You know, we want to use astrology to really empower ourselves, not to validate negativity. And sometimes our energy doesn't match up with a certain sign, and it doesn't mean that the sign is bad. Now, again, you could have had a really horrible experience with an Aries partner, Aries parent, and that is your experience, and that is valid. But I just want to make it very clear what the purpose of this video is. So here's my experience. So my experience with Aries parent, I don't have an Aries parent, but my children have an Aries father. So I know firsthand what this looks like. But and me personally, I only really know fire sign fathers. My father was a Leo, and my children's father is he's an Aries. So I see that all the time, how this plays out, what this looks like. That's all I know. And I tend to, if there's any part of me that's biased a little bit, I'll explain that. Because I feel like when a person is really developed, so let's talk about evolved versus unevolved. When I'm making these videos, I am not talking about the worst of the worst sign or the best of the best. We are talking about, in general, an average person who's just trying to live through life, do the right thing, maybe. They're probably not perfect. None of us are. That's what I'm speaking to. Now, maybe one day I'll do an evolved, unevolved of each sign. I know, you know, some astrologers have done that, and maybe I'll do that. I think that's a more proactive, not proactive, what's the word? I think it's a more balanced way to talk about signs instead of bashing or being overly optimistic. So with the Aries parent, there tends to be this more, you know, the fun aspect sometimes of the Aries parent. Now, in some ways that can be, it depends on the whole sign. I mean, the whole chart, because you can have an Aries parent that is not really responsible, but you can have an Aries parent who is responsible. My experience is the Aries parent, you know, is responsible, right? And very, very involved with his kids. You know, very, very involved every day, you know, but I know that's not everybody's experience. So, but when the Aries is really involved, there's this kind of fun aspect to them. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and sometimes you can see like a lot of playfulness in the Aries father and in the Leo father or Leo parent. I find so more so the fathers than the mothers. But again, that is just, I'm now telling you that is my experience. I'm not saying that is the rule, okay? But what I'm saying is, like, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so there's not a seriousness really to Aries. Now, again, if we look at the other placements, we might have a serious Aries. So you could say, hey, my Aries parent was super serious. They didn't play with me. I didn't have a good time growing up. So then we could look at the chart. Because if the parent is an Aries sun in the 10th house, okay, so if you're Aries sun in the 10th house, so your sun is above the horizon, meaning you resonate more with your sun than your moon sign. Let's say their moon is in let's say the Aries parent moon is in the 2nd house and their sun in Aries is in the 10th house. So already this person, money and gain in earthly materials is important to this Aries parent. Now we put the sun in the 10th house, earth house, Saturn, career is probably really prominent. So this Aries person is probably really independent. That Aries energy when it comes to career. And maybe they become consumed by their career. If they're Venus, maybe their Venus is also in the 10th house. So this Aries parent maybe has a Scorpio moon. All right, now this Aries parent has Aquarius rising. So now we're getting a serious Aries. So when I say they're playful, you're like, wait, whoa, I didn't get that. That might be why. We have to look at the whole chart. But in general, most Aries, there's a kind of spontaneous playfulness to them, for the sake of it, right? Aries is just like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go have fun. Let's go do this. Kind of like, they're kind of like a big kid. In my situation, like I am more, like I'm not super playful. I'm a very affectionate mother, but I'm not really playful. I'm not going to go run outside with you. Your dad can do that, right? You know, I'll make sure your doctor's appointments are scheduled. That's a Virgo mom type of thing. I'm gonna make sure you have everything you need for school. I'm gonna make sure you have all of your food and your vitamins. And I'm gonna pick out things when I go shopping that you like. Like that's a Virgo mom thing. So that's why sometimes I feel like with children, it's a balance. If you are grateful enough to if you're brought up in a 2-parent household, or you can have that sometimes helps balance out the personalities of the parents. Now, my situation, of course, my father passed away when I was really young. So I do remember things about him, but I didn't grow up seeing that, having that balance in the rest of my life. But I'm seeing it as a mother now. And I think it's very, very important because my children, if they want to have fun and they're doing all these things, an Aries parent is great for that kind of spontaneous fun. Now, sometimes the Aries parent, though, is not always going to be the one who has all the up-to-date information on what the child needs. So sometimes Aries can kind of sometimes, like for instance, they want to have fun or they want to enjoy things, but they might not always know what the child needs. They want to solve the child's problem sometimes through what they think the child needs, especially if you have maybe an Aries parent. If you had an Aries parent with a Mercury in Aries, okay, maybe they would, my son he's a child, but he's an Aries. He's a Pisces moon, so I think that's good because that balances it out. But he's a Mercury in Aries, he's a Venus in Aries, and he's an Aries sun. Wow, so he's more Aries actually than his father. His father only has sun in Aries. So with Aries energy, sometimes there is a wanting to solve the problem, wanting to do something. Mars, I want to do something. I'm going to fix this for you. But you have to calm down sometimes and see what the child needs. Listen first. And I'll be the first one to tell you. Now, again, look at the whole chart. Aries as a sign in general, it doesn't always have that much emotional intelligence because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Aries is not worried about that. Aries is about the moment, the action, the thrill, right? And so it sometimes needs to slow down Aries parents and like, well, what's going on? What's wrong? Talk to me, right? What happened? How do you feel about this? How do you want to solve this problem? So especially if you're an Aries parent and you have maybe an air sign child, you want to be careful with that because you want to make sure you're listening to the child, not just assuming how the child wants you to solve an issue or wants you to solve a problem. Because Aries is direction, and Aries sometimes wants to solve everything. I think Aries parents are really good in the moment. I think Aries parents tend to, in the moment, they know how to fix something. In the moment, they're saying, wait, what happened? Okay, I got you. I got it. Like, Aries is really good at that kind of impulse because that's how they live their life. So it's helpful for them sometimes. So like, there's something to do. There's something to fix. I'm going to fix it. Okay, your bike is broken. I'm going to fix it now. Oh, this just, something just broke. Okay, let me go fix it. Especially if we're talking about an Aries, sometimes an Aries father type of thing. Even with Aries mothers, this is kind of like, I got to go do this. I got to go fix this. Oh, this just happened. I'm going to go do it now. Oh, there's a problem at the school. I'm going to go down now and see what's going on. I'm not going to wait. So Aries parents have that very like in the moment, we're going to do something. We're going to fix it. And when you have a really balanced Aries parent, there's an active involvement, right? And I think sometimes they kind of can keep their kids' spirits up as well. Because again, some of these Aries parents can kind of be like really kiddie, playful, joke around a lot. But I think sometimes there's, when we talk about emotional intelligence, So I said this in the Aries partner video as well. Aries, it's really, apologies are not really in Aries language. Okay. Now, meaning, you know, Aries prefers to shift their actions. Aries doesn't feel the need to value words. Now, if you're an Aries parent, your Aries parent had a Mercury in Gemini, maybe you didn't experience this. Maybe you're like, no, you know, they were good with their words. Aries sometimes can be very blunt, and Aries sometimes can just say the first thing that comes to their mind, without the kind of tact and sophistication that you sometimes can even have from Sagittarius, which we sometimes accuse of the same thing, but with Sagittarius, it's a different intention there, right? So Aries parents sometimes won't always apologize the way you want them to. Aries energy tends to apologize through their actions. So if you want an apology, you sometimes have to encourage that apology. Or if you're an Aries parent, if your child values words, if your child is an air sign, your child's a Virgo, or even if your child is a water sign, if any child, let's say any child, let's just put it out there, because that might not always work for your child. If they need a more verbal understanding, I mean, I think this is a whole conversation as well about parents apologizing. And there's a lot of memes about, like, parents back in the day did not apologize to you. They hurt your feelings. They would not apologize. And, you know, this whole, like, I'm the parent, I'm right type of thing, even when they're not right or weren't or whatever the case may be. But, like, parents, I feel like a lot of times parents would just shift their actions. So I don't even know if this is just an Aries parent thing, but for sure an Aries parent, when they realize they're wrong, there's a need for Aries. And it's not impossible for any sign to do something. It's just, it takes more effort. They don't think about it necessarily. It's like, I'm just going to change my actions because I'm ruled by Mars. And so I'm going to assume that everybody will notice this. Okay, I changed my, you know, yeah, I made fun of you for playing that video game. It really hurts your feelings because you're a really sensitive kid and I made fun of you and I took it too far. Okay, I'm not going to apologize. Here, I'm going to buy you your favorite video game that I just teased you about. Not tease, you know, light teasing, because some signs can be more sensitive. You know what I mean? And Aries are not for the faint of heart. Like, they will, but I think that Aries parents can be really, really protective in a way. Now, again, this is not, if your parent was not protected, that was your experience. I'm talking about the average Joe, Jane, whatever. Okay. Like, Aries has this need to kind of act and protect their kids. And I think that's a very fire sign thing in general, I sometimes see. Like, if something's not going right, there's this need. But also, I feel like they're very real with their kids. And I think that sometimes Aries doesn't feel the need to shield you all the way from, like, life. Aries is kind of like, this is what life is like. It's a very transparent type of parent. So sometimes it's like they kind of don't have that filter of, like, hey, you know, this topic, not, I wouldn't say, like, exposing their kids to stuff that's not, you know, kid related, but I feel like sometimes it's like this more, this is life, this more blunt approach to raising their kids. Definitely not a helicopter parent type of thing. Aries believes in freedom, so sometimes you'll see Aries parents want to encourage freedom in their children. They're not, you know, there could be a debate between both parents. If there's another parent, if you have an Aries parent and a Scorpio parent, or even Aries parent and a Capricorn parent, you know, I'm trying to think of another sign that might be, like, really protective. Oh, Aries and a Cancer parent. Well, now there's a very different dynamic going on, especially they're both cardinals. So sometimes it can be within the family, or with the other parent, or if there's a grandparent helping raise the child, or whatever the situation is, there's a debate, because Aries believes in freedom and independence. And sometimes they're going to be like, just go, just do it. Walk around the corner to the store by yourself. Sagittarius does it too. But Sagittarius is more so, I want you to be savvy. I want you to be knowledgeable. I want you to be, you know, able to do, you know, journey through life without being scared, you know. Sagittarius has that more like freedom. Go explore your neighborhood. Go on. Aries is like, I'm fostering you to be independent. Okay. No, you don't need to hold my hand all the time. Now, obviously age appropriate. I'm not saying that Aries parents are going to say, hey, 2-year-old, go walk to the corner store. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that Aries sometimes, especially once a kid comes to a certain age, they believe more in that independence. Like, yeah, they can go take the trash out. Yeah, the child can go do this. Or yeah, the child can walk to school by themselves. Yeah, the child can do this. Yeah, they're old enough to do this. So Aries parents, I think one of the positives as well is, like, encouraging their child to do things on their own. They do not baby their children. I think they can be really supportive. I think they can be really very joyful when it comes to that playful part, that kind of big kid, let's go adventure, let's go have adventure, like, you know, type of energy, but they do not tend to baby their children. And that can work with some kids who need to build up independence. And I think they could also work with children who are, who might not have been independent were it not for their Aries parent saying, you're going to try this on your own. I'm not going to keep doing this for you. You're too old. I don't have to do this for you. I'm not cleaning your room for you. Or I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not pouring your cereal for you anymore. You're 10 years old. Or I'm not doing X, Y, and Z for you anymore because you are old enough to know how to do this. So that's something that we sometimes see with the Aries parent. So that is it. I don't want this video to be too long, but that was all that I had to say. And please check out my children video. I also have children through the zodiac if you want to check out children through the signs as well.